Hello, should I include both large cap and small cap stocks in my watch list? You can do that, but I will recommend you have a watch list, a sub watch. In fact, you have a watch list for large cap separate, and then another watch list or small cap as well. That way, as you trade from both, you can flag the one the ones that are now working well with the strategy you have and take them out. And over time, when you have a curated list of the stocks that are working well with the strategy you are using, if you want to combine both lists into one, then you can do that. That way you will know if you are using the same strategy, with the same strategy, which stocks from both market capitalizations are comparable, that you are able to swing trade using the same strategy. But again, so far I only have a watch list of large cap stocks, but it is on my to-do list that after a while to create a watch list of a small cap, a watch list of middle cap as well stocks, and see if I will be able to find some good stocks from those market capitalizations that I can swing trade as well. But I'm testing my strategy with large cap because those large cap, they do not fluctuate too quickly. Therefore, with a laid back approach, especially if you have job and you have a family that depends on you, you have obligations at home, and then you have your job as well, full-time job, or you have full-time business. It makes a little challenging having to manage your finances as well. And I'm putting trading in within finance category. So therefore, I try to, just in case I'm not doing my analysis on a daily basis, or not to be in front of the computer all day long, I try to use large caps first. That way I have strong stocks that I can work with, and again, using that strategy, I can with I lost my train of thought here, but yeah, just focusing on large cap stocks. Yeah, what I wanted to say is I do not set stop loss, so therefore I wanted to minimize my risk by focusing on stocks that are stable. Therefore, that's why I'm using large cap, and I can, once I customize the strategy that I'm using to trade them, I can test that strategy with other market capitalization. With large cap, I have a feeling like those stocks are large, they do not fluctuate often, but with my strategy is tailored to stocks that are moving up, that have growth to them. And some large cap are kind of mature and stable without growth, and I don't really want to swing trade those because I feel like with my strategy, I like growth stocks. And growth stocks, you might find them more around the small market capitalization, I would imagine, or better yet, maybe mid cap stocks might have those growth, but large cap, they might be growing steadier. But I see some growth stocks in more those large cap as well, and I have some stocks that are growing slowly, like Procter and Gamble. We analyzed those earlier as well, I believe. And just having that in mind, but it's kind of interesting to see when you are analyzing those charts, knowing what kind of market capitalization those stocks are for, to keep that in the back of your mind and see the tendency of those charts as well, the growth in it, because again we are using uptrend long swing trading strategy, and more precisely long uptrend long swing trading strategy. You can combine both, but it'll be good to have two different lists. That way you know where those stocks market capitalizations are from. So we have a list here that I think okay. Oh yeah, I did have a list here. So I will assume no. Oh, this is a short one, short master list, not a short cap. But I thought I was working on that project at some point. Okay, yeah, I did work on it. So I have this one here, but again, I'm not sure it's completely curated yet. Or maybe it is, because the list is so short. So I think so far that is what I was able to rescue when I pull it through our filters to just focus on two market stock markets where they are sold, and just keep corporations and no international companies in them that has been public for at least 15 years. But I think that list could have been 2 years ago. Therefore, some of them could have met this requirement that are not in that list. That will be a possibility. And I think that is the first 5 filters could have led them here. And I don't think I pulled them through the 6th filter yet. I will imagine, because I'm not seeing any rating, whether they are growth and dip or upward here yet, unless I'm working on this list one sector at a time, because I'm seeing only one sector here. So it could well be that I'm working on a sector by sector. So, and this is one curated list from this sector so far. It could be, but yeah. And let's see, I have some filters here, yeah, that I'm putting them through. But I think, yeah, it's worth having a list of those and see, compare those charts to your large cap chart and decide which one of those you wanted to give a try as well. But for now, I'm making our large cap stocks watch list for 2026, and let's work on it together. So the one in this that we are going to analyze is COP. We are going to use maximum monthly chart. So COP, okay, let's see how it's growing here. We have this high, this is higher, but there is quite a bit of year between them. We have the year on the x-axis from past to the present, and the price from 0 up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years or so before it exceed. About 5 years it exceed that one, and from here it exceeded somewhere here another 5 years or so. When I'm looking at this, I'm having a is it a downtrend? Yeah, I'm having a downtrend here. If I trace, no, it's an uptrend. This is higher than this one. So let's trace some trend lines here, because we will want to buy at the valley line using our long uptrend long swing trading strategy. We will want to buy at the valley line and sell it after it start reaching a higher peak. So buying it at the valley line and sell it after the peak is reached. And right now it seems to be creating, again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so years before it breached this one. And if we are going to buy this stock, is there a way we can undo on this platform? We are using Thinkorswim platform here. So let's, okay, and we can use this one. If we are going to buy these stocks, it's going to be around this value line. And when we buy to sell it, we can stay in it for 6 years. So you can see there that 6 years is quite a bit of time, and that is how it's growing. It's taking its time growing, and I don't know for how long it has been around. If this is correct, it has been around since the 80s, so this is kind of stable here, and I'm not really seeing much of growth there. So you can see that the valley line is uptrend, but it's not quite uptrend. It's uptrend. It's kind of oblique, yes, but I think you see what I mean. But it seems to be respecting this line, although it didn't really come back down to it here though. So it was closer here, went there, then came back around. So we are just going to use this. If we are going to buy these stocks, it's going to be around that one line, nothing more, nothing less. So and when I say around, it's going to be around, not exactly touching base with it necessarily, but around it. And but again, we need to keep in mind that it could take about 6 years for a higher peak to be reached. Once it reached this one in 2022. Okay, the countdown started. So 4 more years, before it can probably breach that. So that is how, again, those large cap that are mature, that's how they grow. So because it has been around for that long, if you want to trade it, that's what you need to keep in mind. I think it will be a stock to invest in. Again, with that in mind, that you'll buy it at this value, you will sell it after the peak is reached, because when the peak is reached, it goes up, it goes down shortly after. So therefore, when the peak is reached, it will be sold, and then you buy it again, and you can just stay in the trade for 5-6 years again before you sell it. So and when you are comparing this peak to the valley, is 81 here, is $9. Oh, okay, that's quite a bit of 12 here. So it's quite a bit of profit there. 81 and 12, is it like 6? If we say 11 and 81, it will be what, $70 a share difference there. So if you are going to stay in the trade that long though, you must well buy more share, right? But just keep that in mind. And I think after a while, those type of investment, that's the way you review them, knowing that when you are going to this trade, it's not going to be swing trading within a year. It's going to be short-term investment. You might stay in it for 6 years. Should we call that short-term investment? I'm not sure. What do you think? So here is like 135, and here is around 23. Okay, over $100 a share. But again, I have stocks that I think we may over. We have stock that we may over $100 a profit per share. Let's take a look at it. So profit per share, that will be this column X. Okay, do you see this one? Okay, let's take a look at it here. So we purchased it in March, okay, for $4,500 a share, and we only purchased 1 share, and we sold it in May, 2 months later, for 5,342, and we made $747 profit there, or 16% return. So with that, what do you think? Would you prefer to buy 3 shares? How many of the other one will give you about this amount? So let's take a look at it again. Let's say you purchase it somewhere, when it start going up from here, you purchase it around 36, let's just say 36. And let's say you sold it, let's just say you sold it around this peak, for instance. You are not going to hold it exactly all the way there, but let's just humor ourselves with that. And we bought it, let's say we bought it around, let's just use those, let's just say 22. So minus 22, that gives you 113 a profit gap to profit from. So 113, so let's say 747 divided by 113, you'll buy 6 shares. So if you purchase 6 shares and you sold it for 135, you'll have 810. So if you purchase it at 22 times 6 shares, so minus 810, so you'll have 678. So let's just say 7 shares, maybe it will get you there. So 7 times 22 will give you 134. 135 times 7 minus 154 is 791. So again, 7 shares will cost you 154. And but it will take you 1, 2, okay, if you purchase it there, it takes you 2 years to make that $791 profit. So 7 shares for 154, you kept it for 2 years, could lead you to 791, the same profit as BKNG. Let's go to maximum daily chart. When I purchase it there around this support line, in fact, is again back to that support line. So I purchase it again using long up to long swing trading strategy. I purchase it around this support line, and I sold it after a new high is reached. Shortly after that, it went up short for a short period of time, pull back, went even higher, pull back and higher, and now it's going down. So we pretty much got out a little early, but 2 months, we kept it for 2 months because I just don't know if this support line is a support line supporting the upside wall of the mountain, or if that is the valley line. So I'm looking at this line and I feel like I'm kind of higher up trading, just in case it decided to come down here, I'll get stuck in it. So I got out of the trade. It pulled back to it. I just don't know if it's going to continue going up from here, and at one point it's going to decide coming down here. So it'll be a risk continue trading here, but again, I'm keeping that in mind. And it's all by doing it because it has been on, it touched base with this support line 3 years ago. So when it's going to decide it's done climbing the mountain and wanted to come back down here, I'm not entirely sure. So that's why I got out of the trade and I lock in that profit. So what will you do? The other one will give you the same profit after 2 years, will cost you about 154, and this one, for around 5,000, 2 months got me that 700 as well. So those I think you have to think about when you have stocks. There is not really a right and wrong answer here, which make the challenge makes it even more challenging or interesting. But those are situations that you might run into, and you might have to ask those questions yourself. Buying one share of a higher price or buying multiple share of a small one, the profit you are going to get from both, which one is more advantageous to you? But I think this is not bad if, within 2 years. So that makes me think, will that do the same? Should we expect, once it start going up from here, should we accept another 2 years to reach a higher peak? We'll keep it there and see. So we will come back to it and we can just say okay, and we can just say the cycle lasts, we can say the cycle lasts about 6 years, and we know what that means to us. From valley to valley, that means valley to peak to valley could be about 6 years. We can just put it like that and put okay. So the next one is PX. At least is following, is respecting the support line, and we can see the valley line. We just know that. Now we can see the peak, and we just know that peak we have about 6 years time frame to be working there if we want to buy those. So it's going to fall outside of swing trading. We'll be buying a swing trading strategy, but it'll be leaning toward investment. PSD. So PSD, and that's how those things, at least in my opinion, they kind of get intertwined when it comes to me, because I have experience trading, investing for a while now, and I'm doing swing trading since last year, and even this year I'm using previous trading and investing knowledge to customize my swing trading strategy that I used last year into what I'm using this year and moving forward as well. So pretty much when you have those experience, you just don't, you cannot really pinpoint a clear line in between them. At some point you will borrow from prior experience to improve current experience. You'll tap into those different strategies. At least that's what I do. That's why I'm not very good at just doing one thing only. But by trying those things, I tend to borrow what is good from each one of them to see if I can find a mixing bowl to mix them all in it, to find a recipe that is interesting that I can just use, that combine all those investing and strategy and investing and swing trading strategies into something that is not investing, is not swing trading, is a combination of both. But so let's see what is going on with this PSD company here. So when I'm choosing those, okay, so this could be the support line. This has only one touch point. This has two. I'm not a, oh, so this has, yeah, some prior touch point here as well. We could choose this as the valley line. There is quite a bit of gap, dollar amount, yes, between those two though. But again, it come all the way here as well. So we could be more cautious and pick this as well. But that's if we want to swing through it. So now let's look at, so we determine our valley lines here. So we can see what is going on. From here, about a year and a half, it reached this one, and then continue, pretty much it continue. And then from it reached a peak here, it was done climbing up, took some years along the way from here. Took some years along the way, but then took some years on its way back down as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go down. Good. So from here it start going up again and surpass this one within a year. So I don't know if it's going to continue this process here. If it's going to continue this process, it could continue going on for a few years again before it's like, is it like 10 years when it will come back down here? So every 10 years it'll come back down there. Well, so if you want to buy here, then we'll be waiting for 10 years. So if we want to put it in 2026 watch list, it's not going to be, we are not going to be buying it next year. Therefore, it will be occupying a real estate in our watch list, and therefore we can put there that, you know, the stock will last 10 years, and this will be where we will buy if we will buy. So I really don't know what else I can say about it. Is you can invest in it. If you want to swing through it, using the strategy we are using, you might have a 10-year time frame in mind. When you'll buy it, when you will sell it will be about 5 years. When you'll buy it will be about another 5 years. Although from here there was within 2 years too. So that's something we can consider. So is it going to take 2? But I just feel like it's not done going up yet. It might continue, but I wouldn't want to buy it where it is right now. Just in case, you know, it does not stay the course for that duration, which already is kind of, you know, there going into it. So I just prefer to be cautious, to just stick to my strategy. Buy at the valley line and sell it at the peak. And right now, it is something to invest in, not something to swing trade, because again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the cycle. So we can put, in fact, we can put okay, and then we can put cycle last 10 years, and hopefully I think I'll put okay 10 years. Why not? That way I know that if I put this in my watch list, it's not for me to buy it, but it will be more like, oh, this stock is okay to keep in a bigger watch list, but not in 2026 watch list. So let's go to this one, and again, this is a reflection of a large cap that is moving slowly, I will think. So there is not a lot of growth quickly going on there. It takes its time, but surely it's moving. So CTRA, let's take a look at this. I'm not a big fan of this just by looking at it right now, because again, the peak is so far in the past compared to the present. Therefore, but is respecting this support line here. Is it the same as the previous one, when it's going to take multiple years before it can breach that peak? The thing is, we have the value line we can buy at, but we do not have a clear exit point here. If we cannot see an exit point, we cannot see a clear value point, I don't feel comfortable adding it to our watch list. It's uptrending, but it's not surpassing the previous highs. And this one was in 2015. It has not surpassed that level yet. Therefore, the answer is no, it's not going to be in our watch list. It have an uptrending value line here, but the growth is not surpassing the previous one yet. So no. And if I want to put a note here, is clear valley, but no higher peak. Those are just notes you can put for yourself, so that later if you ask yourself why you didn't add it to your watch list, you can just take a look at that note and compare it again to the chart again to see if you are seeing the same thing. TPL, because again it is a moving, is a live chart, is still moving, so other pieces will be added to it over time, and you might have more understanding of what is going on as well. And your mind, you might change your mind on something you say no to, or you might change your mind on something you say yes to few months later as well. So this is going up. Do you see the difference between this one and the previous one? So when you are analyzing a large chart, at some point you will compare them to each other and use one to rate the other, to be harsher on the other or to be flexible on the other type of thing. So this one is going up here. Although this sharp growth here, okay, it was not during 2020, it was in 2024. So that makes us think, okay, maybe it might duplicate it again, since there is nothing unusual happening there again, and we are not going to trade with the news of the company. Therefore, I'm not going to go Google what happened in 2024 for that steep growth, but we are just going to together trace those support lines. So by looking at it here, we can use this as the valley line. And we can use this as the valley line as well. Because if the other one failed us, we purchased it then and we got trapped, we know that we have this, but we know that there is a chance it could fall back to this. But this is good enough to be the valley. But let's take a look at it. So it reached this peak. Within a year, it pulled back, reached a higher peak. Within a year, it pulled back, went up a little bit, pulled back again, and then went this higher peak and then start going down. So we can use this as the valley line, and we can see that this about a year and a half is reaching a higher peak. So that is what we want. So therefore this is a yes for our watch list. So we can just put what? Good chart. And we have one more that we can analyze together, is VLO. So VLO, we are seeing growth there. Let's trace some valley lines together. Okay, and then let's see. Don't think this will take us any. Okay, let's go there, but we want to trace our oblique lines. This is just going to be close to this, so it's not going to work, and I don't want this because it's going to cross some. Oh, come on. Okay, let's just go from there. One again is going to, let's skip it. From there we have quite a bit of touch point, but then this one, okay, so this one, it was around 2020, so we can see that there are some unusual circumstances there. So when we have situation like that, big crisis like that, these stocks could well shoot down to this line. Don't know what that company does, and that's at this point that is picking my attention. And we can use this as the valley line, but that's a risky one though, because it's quite steep in my opinion, but it has been. So we have this peak here. It took some years before it surpassed it. Within it though, we are having a higher peak every time, every 1 year and a half, and then it's coming back down to that valley line. Let's see, this is the price. Okay, there is growth in those prices even along the valley line because it's kind of steep, and then it went up again and pulled back, and during 2020 it went below it to go all the way down here and go up from there, and was able to quickly surpass the previous one, pull back, went up, not quite, pull back and surpass it again, went down to it and start going up again. So yeah, that line could be a line to buy at, but there is a chance that it might come back down to this. And just looking at how long it took to make a higher peak here, there are some years between them, but again, they both are now along this support line, this valley line. This was more around the lowest point, the lowest valley line. But when they start climbing this one, about a year and a half, it has been reaching a higher peak. So we can keep this as a valley line, but we have in mind that if things go sour, it could fall back to this, and we'll get stuck in it until it goes back up, but it will go up. So we can leave it in it. We can see our exit point. Yeah, we can see our exit point. So this is, yeah, let's put okay. I don't know, I'd like to put a good chart, but I think okay will work just fine. So this conclude stock how we are analyzing our large cap stocks that we created to this point, to have about 300 of them on our watch list, our master watch list. How we analyze them to see which one we will pick to make our preliminary 2026 watch list. And then if that list is still big, we might try to see the one we might pull out of it, or to try to make a smaller version of that big list, again, that we will keep for 2026 by analyzing them and see the charts that are easier for us to understand, that we can clearly see our valley line and our high, our peak, and those peaks are reached every other year or so, that we know we can buy and sell it, within a year or within 2 years. Oh yeah, I think that is the strategy behind it. And I think, let's see, look for a new high every year on maximum monthly chart for stocks to add to the watch list. So yeah, and we will keep that in mind as well. So that is that. And by looking at this list, I think we find some good ones in it. We have 2 and 3 out of the 5 that we analyze that could make it to our draft 2026 watch list. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very much for watching our videos, and thank you for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for your comments. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. Just start small and grow your account from there. For more of our swing trading tips or how you can create your own watch list, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. Thank you for your time.